So today we are looking at our full body, so that includes our hamstrings, a bit of hamstring work, so we'll get them burning, bit of abs, and we got chest, so we're adding in a bit of push. So things that we will need in the setup is kettlebell. Get your weight. Mat, bit of comfort, can't go wrong. Watch out if you've watches because you will be sitting a kettlebell on the outside of our wrist, so just be wary of that. Make sure it's right up against that top of your hand. And then we may need a wall for support or a chair, something that you can just kind of hover over and kind of keep that as support or grab if needs be to hold, keep your balance. Make sure you get your warm-up done because that is important, okay? So we can't come into this session when we're cold. It's just a recipe for disaster. You might get away with it 9 times out of 10, but it'll be the one time that it gets you. It's just not worth it. So get it done. I'm ready to go. So I'm going to press the start button, which gives us a 15-second countdown. So we're going into our single leg RDL. So that's our hip hinge. So right hand at the kettlebell, left foot on the floor, and we're hinging from here and we're coming back up. But for the start, it's a 10-second hold. So pin the shoulder blades, right hand to left ankle. I'm back. Timer has started. I'm holding this for 10 seconds. So I'm holding, or I'm feeling my hamstring right here doing all the work of that bottom leg. Now we're going to start repping. Okay, so nice and smoothly, keeping the ankle, hip, shoulder in line. It's one straight line going through the 3 joints. And I'm just letting that kettlebell lower towards the floor. And already you can see that difference, that 10-second iso hold just had. And your iso hold is when you don't move your joints. Everything stays still, but you still work the muscle like your planks, your wall sits. And to be honest, it's all your boring exercises. I'm not going to lie. It's boring. But they're great. They really do serve a purpose. So 2, 1, drop the kettlebell. You do have 10 seconds. I'm going to move this chair just under here so it's not in the way. Kettlebell in the left hand. Keep my right foot planted. And from here, shoulder blades back. I'm getting that position, my hip hinge. So here we are. Might be a little bit of a wobble. That's okay. Takes a few seconds to get into your position, but once you can hold it, that's where we feel the hamstring, and then we're going to come up. So you got to get the hinge and trust yourself with that back foot. And what we tend to do is have something. I can have this. If I wobble, I can kind of push against it and take my weight. And I'm keeping my hips square. And the one mistake that you see all the time is this foot that goes back, goes straight in towards the wall, and we cross over that much and everything rotates. You put your torque through the knee that it's not expecting, and we can't get the reps and we keep losing our balance. So just be wary of that. We're going to ditch the kettlebell in 5 seconds. We're going to lie on our back. This is where that comfort's going to come into 2 and 1. Drop it down onto our back. We'll have our core rows. So hands out in front, down, aiming towards our feet. We're going to sit up on our bum and our knees are going to come into our chest just like this, and then we're back out again. And we're going to do this continuously for 50 seconds. Yes, it's a bit of time. And the beauty of the next exercise that we're going into is we got 50 seconds on the right side, 50 seconds on the left side. We're going to stay on our back. But we will need our kettlebell. It's going to be a floor press. It's for our chest. It's a bit of pushing. It's like the reverse of a push-up. Instead of pushing yourself away from the floor, you're pushing a kettlebell away from you. And we'll focus on one side at a time. And what I want you to do is when it's time to grab that kettlebell, I want you to roll to your side. This is the safest way to pick it up, is roll to your side, pull it into your chest, and then roll onto your back. So 2, 1. See the kettlebell right here? I'm dragging it close to me. Roll in, keep it nice and tight, and there I have it. So from there, I'm going to bring my feet up, keep them flat on the floor. Hand out in front, it's directly above that shoulder and the chest. Bring the 2 shoulder blades together. My elbow comes down to the floor, and I'm going to push back up. And the one thing I want you to think of is the movement of this wrist, and where do we go, and how much it moves. So if you think of a triangle, all right, if you look at a triangle, the bottom of the triangle is the floor. That's the base. And our head is currently on the floor. Same with our back, same with our feet. And now, this right side has to make the right side of that triangle. So it's got to come down wide, not too wide. Keep the hand in over the elbow. So if the hand works outside the elbow, it's going to pull us. And then that's where we have a bit of danger. So It's coming in tight above us, so this is where we're strong. It's coming down a little bit wider. Elbow must touch the floor. We're going to drop it there. We're going to drop and swap, but this is where you got to be careful with the watch. Yeah, I think I'm good. Got to take the risk. So elbow to the floor, bring the shoulder blades together. Tighter at the top. It's a little bit wider at the bottom. And then once we have that corrected, make sure our elbow isn't this high up and it's in line with our shoulder, because the stress that puts through our shoulder is huge. So don't have the elbow in right up against your rib cage, because it gets harder. We use a smaller muscle with the tricep, and we should know by now that the smaller muscle does not produce the same amount of force as a bigger muscle. So have your elbow 45 degrees, or your armpit should have a 45-degree angle with your body. Pin your shoulder blades together so we're not rolling our shoulders forward and back. We're keeping everything stiff and tight, keeping tension in. We're up on our feet in 4 seconds. Back into our single leg RDL, drop it there, up on your feet. And that is round 1 complete. So remember, you got a 10-second hold. Going in 2, 1, let's hinge, and we're holding. A nice boring hold. This kettlebell is not resting on that bottom foot. It's actually still in the air, because if you have it down, we can hold this for a long time. And now we're back up. So now we're going to start repping it out really slow. Keep that control. And this is in no way an easy exercise to do. We are challenging you here because it's single leg. Stability is a huge thing in this. And we know that with stability or less stability, it's harder to have the weight that we use. Sometimes it's even better body weight. But if you're really struggling and you just can't get it, even if you have support of a wall or a chair, keep that back foot down. We're going to hinge. Your 10-second hold is going to be here, but then you're going to rep it out from there. So 3, 2, and 1. Turn. Ready to go. So right foot stays planted. Kettlebell in the left hand. And here we go. Bit premature, but we'll take it. So holding that for 10 seconds. Now I have the foot up high enough, and you really feel that front hamstring. You should feel it. If you don't, you probably could be dropping the hips too low, or you have that leg stiff. And what I mean by stiff is just straight, okay? Have a slight bend in the knee. We're repping it out. It's only a 10-second hold. I say only. Makes it sound like the easiest thing in the world. It's not easy. Nice and slow. And as soon as you initiate that drop of the kettlebell where you start hinging, that foot has to go. Because if we start hinging to here, and that minimizes the distance from here to kind of the floor where we want to get to, and then put the foot up, well, the timing is completely off and they hit different parts of the destination. Where it should hit the same. Let me think about this one. We're going to core rows. In 3, 2, 1. I'll get it now. So, when you move and initiate the movement with the kettlebell in the upper body, the leg has to go at the same time. They both have their own separate destinations that they have to get to halfway through the rep, where that foot is all the way back and that kettlebell is all the way down to the floor. Doesn't touch the floor though. They have to reach their points at the exact same time in order to keep that balance. And if they don't have the balance and it's at different points, well, then we start wobbling. Then we start moving, and then it becomes a bit of a different exercise, okay? So the timing has to be spot on. So next time you do it, just make sure that you're going straight in. As soon as that moves, the leg moves. There, I think that's it. So 3, 2, 1. Right. Grab the kettlebell, roll to your side, have it on the chest. Then we can use our 2 hands to get it up in the air, and then we can just take it in the right hand, shoulder blades back, feet planted, and let's go. So this is our strongest position possible. Don't worry if your lower back is coming off the floor. That's okay. We're using our chest, not our back or our abs. So this is where we're really going to start feeling it in the chest. And when you get it to here, really push it away as if you're trying to get to the sky. And then you're bringing it right back down. And remember that 45 degree. So don't have the elbow too close. Don't have the elbow too high. I know it sounds like you got to keep an eye on 100 million things. Just don't let the elbow flare out too much. So remember, 45 degree. Just that's the simple rule of thumb to go by. Keep the shoulder blades together so our shoulders don't start rolling forward and backwards. So we keep it all on the chest. So 3, 2, 1. I'm going to twist it in my hand. So you can actually drop it to that side and then do it the exact same way you picked it up in the right hand. Shoulder blades back. Let's go. 50 seconds on this side. So take your time. Your elbows to only kind of kiss the floor or tap the floor. It doesn't sit on the floor. You don't take a rest and go, yeah, let's go another rep and bring it down. It just taps it. It lets you know that you've hit your full range of motion. It's time to get back up. Don't use it as a bounce either. That would be quite sore, but don't use it as a bounce. That'd be cheating. And I definitely shouldn't be doing this because I can feel the shoulder just crackling. I don't know if the mic can pick it up. It's on that side. But it's just like you've just put something in it's like cogs nearly. Cogs just turning. And it's that crackling noise. So up on your feet. So it actually, when you bring the elbow high, it puts more stretch to the shoulder. So I actually couldn't get it up from that position when I tried to demo it. So that's just the importance of that. So 10-second hold. I'm going to go for an extra 5 seconds here because I missed the first 5. Got to keep myself honest. So 3, 2, 1. Let's start repping. All on the hamstrings. Shouldn't be anything else. If you're feeling the lower back, chances are you're not bracing the abs enough. Chances are you could be losing your shoulder blade posture. So keep the shoulder blades together. Squeeze the abs as if someone's about to punch you right here. I want you to hold that pressure in the stomach, shoulder blades back. And now, as you start coming up, then you can let it all out. Get it again before each rep. So 5, 2, and 1. Let's swap it there. All right. Have the hand, have it ready just to grab something if you need it. 3, 2, 1. 10-second hold. We're holding it there. Lights up the hamstring. The hamstring has had a bit of work already. And we're going to keep holding that for another 3, 2, 1. Stand up, and this is where it actually the fatigue is setting in there. And the higher that leg goes, the more intense that stretch is going to be in the hamstring. And the more intense the stretch is, it means the better contraction you're going to get. And that just means full range of motion is 9 times out of 10 better unless you're training for otherwise. So keeping the posture, abs tight as we hinge, keeps the internal pressure in. So we'll get one more rep in, then we're into core rows. Hit the abs again. Drop the kettlebell, leave it to my right side of the mat. So it's easy to grab on the next one, or not this one, the next one. And core rows in 3, 2, 1. Keep the hands out in front. And the reason we keep our hands out in front is because if we take them from overhead and we swing ourselves in, and it's a common thing as well. With every exercise, there's a common movement that people just tend to do. And don't be the person that kind of does this and throws the hands forward. That is using all your momentum and swinging into each rep. We want to concentrate that in the abs and really get the abs fired up from here. So as we come up, we're right in and we're slowly out, controlling every part of it. It's not easy. It's not easy in any way. Do it to the best of your ability, but focus on getting the upper body up first and then worry about getting the knees in. Because if we get our knees in first, and then we try to get the upper body up, that's as high as we're going to go. Right, roll in to get your kettlebell, get it set up, keep it tight, roll back onto your back. 2 hands to get it up. Shoulder blades back. And let's go into floor press. And we call it floor press because we're pressing from the floor. And now you might be familiar or heard the name bench press. And that is pressing from a bench. So it's just a slight name change. Slight difference between the two is not only just the bench or the floor. The bench allows you to get more range of motion. Your elbows actually go through the floor and a little bit lower. So therefore we get more of a stretch. But also with that, we need to learn with floor press and then advance onto bench press because you've less stability And if we can't hold that weight with less stability, it causes issues within that shoulder, and it won't be pretty. So 3, 2, 1. So it just goes to show safety is a big thing. It can't be overlooked. But don't let it put you off. You'll learn it. Bring it in, or you probably know it by now, and you're probably saying, yeah, I know this. Stop talking, please, thanks. So it could be either or, just to let you know. I'll slowly down, and remember, it's the left side of the triangle. Well, for me, it's the left side because I'm pressing with my left side. It's the left side of the triangle I'm drawing. Pretend I have a marker in my hand, and I'm drawing it. Drawing that slanted line. Straight line, but slanted. And we got 18 seconds left, so taking your time, you're not rushing through anything. Keep the shoulder blades back into the floor. 8 seconds. This is where it's starting to add up now. Things are getting tired, slowing down. So 2, 1, roll to the side, drop it down, and there you have it. There's your full body work. So nice work. We'll see you again on the next time. So until then,